What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex, and this video, I want to talk about why I am getting Split Fiction. This is a video series that I do where I talk about an upcoming game and talk about whether I'm getting it, not getting it, or I'm somewhere in between. And to be honest with you, I mean, we've had some big games come out, okay? And probably right now, Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 is my game of the year, okay? At least at the time of my recording. But leading into this year, right, you got the big hitters, you got the big PlayStation games, you got the big Xbox games, you got like GTAs of the world, some massive, massive games coming out. When we saw this game at the Game Awards, I think I declared it my most anticipated, or at least in my top 3 of the entire year. And I mean that. I did not just say that just to kind of go against the grain. I think this game looks phenomenal. I still think this is a top 3, maybe even top 2 or top 1, right up there with the GTAs and Ghost of Yotes and Duma, the Dark Ages and stuff. I really would put this right up there because I just think this is a team that has made some incredible, incredible games. I mean, I've said it before, but when it comes to like A Way Out, I think A Way Out is a really, really special game. It is it's a game that borrows a lot from other games. I think it gives off very heavy Uncharted vibes, and it's not a game uniquely unique. It's not a game that you're gonna say, oh, I've never seen anything like that before. But I think it really started something. Started this idea of the co-op and some of the story twists and some of the big moments in that game. I think A Way Out is a really, really amazing game that I'll always remember and I'll always love. It Takes Two. It Takes Two. I don't know if I would say it was my game of the year that year. I think it won Game of the Year, at the Game Awards, but that is a phenomenal game. I don't know if the story is as impactful to me as A Way Out was to me, but I do think the story is great, characters are great, the diversity, really tripling down on that cooperative element and saying, all right, we're going to show you so many different things and we're going to put you in so many different situations. It's just a blast to play. It is a game that's just so diverse with so many different areas, with so many kind of mini games built throughout it. And I love that diversity. I think that's really important for, you think of like the Astrobots of the world, and you got to have like the diverse missions and the different kind of just the different locales or different kind of gameplay elements that you're going to throw in and out, of these games. Very important for games like this. And I think It Takes Two nailed it. So that brings us to Split Fiction. I really feel like we've been building up to this. I really feel, as of now at least, and hopefully when the game comes out, I feel the same way, that this is going to be the best thing that they've made. Because to me, I guess the story, what we've seen so far it's cool. It's definitely a cool setup in terms of kind of like a storybook kind of thing where you're playing kind of creations of both these characters, right? I'm sure it'll have emotional moments. I mean, each of these games, from A Way Out on, they have had some emotional story beats, and I've related with characters, and they've gone deep, with some of them. You think about It Takes Two was about kind of a breakup in a relationship and kind of bringing it back together. I mean, that's pretty impactful. That's actually some like serious world stuff that people go through, like legitimately people go through. And I think they did it. And then they also just made a fantastic game that's like highly enjoyable to play, along with that kind of like, it's not always a perfect story in terms of just like a happy and joyful, right? They play around with it a little bit. So we don't know that much about where they're going to take us with the story of Split Fiction, but what they've really, I think, focused on, at least at the time I'm recording this, and hopefully by the time you guys are seeing this, is the diversity, is the gameplay, and this really looks like everything It Takes Two was times like 5, but it just looks like an absolute blast. Like, it looks so much fun. As of right now, I can't really choose, because there's 2 different types of kind of genres that they're playing with. Both look fantastic, and just, I keep saying the word diversity, but that's really the push here, and it's diversity in terms of, like, you seemingly are going to do something a little bit different in every single mission, that, being able to rely on the other person, they really lean, I would say actually A Way Out had that, because, the first little bit was, like a prison heist, right, or like breaking out of prison, and, It Takes Two kind of did the same thing, but just that ability that I think that team does so well. And they've talked about, I think, Joseph Fares has talked about it, where, like, you need both people. And, I mean, the games are designed with both people. You cannot play these games solo. But it makes both people feel like equals. And I will say, like, growing up even, right, and playing a lot of cooperative games, and cooperative games have just died, as time has kind of gone on. That's another reason why I freaking love these games, is they're not afraid to embrace it. They're not afraid to do that pass where you buy the game, you could give it to somebody else so you can play it together. How he's very open when he talks about no microtransactions, no BS. It's just the base game, and the base game's going to freaking rock, and you're going to like it, right? I love the honesty. I love the tripling down on what they they feel is like the right thing to do with these games. And I do believe it is the right thing to do. I think it feels nostalgic. It feels like we are going back to these games of the cooperative age. But at the same time, a thing that I think those games, a lot of those games kind of fell into problems with is, they would actually kind of rely on one person, right? One person would kind of feel more in the pilot seat. I mean, I can remember just playing like as a child, and you probably would rely on the other person. So I was a child playing, say, with my dad. I would rely on my dad more to kind of get me out of situations just because he was older and just more able. What's interesting about these games is they really put that like burden, or it's a good burden, right? They put that pressure on both of you and say, okay, are you ready? Because both of you are equally important. One is going to need two, and two is going to need one, right? And that's how you're going to be able to beat this game, but you're both necessary to it. So I think that's a really, again, that's something that's a little similar, a little something that we've seen before, kind of embracing that era, but doing something that, honestly, I don't think that era did very well, which is really making people equal, right? Not just having two people, but making those two people feel like they had equal parts to play in the game. So, I don't know, I'm so ready for it. Talking about it gets me more excited, and I stand true to it. I really believe this is one of my most anticipated games of the entire year. I want nothing more for this to be a Game of the Year contender. I honestly think it's going to be a Game of the Year contender, and I just can't freaking wait to play it. I'm ready with my wife. We've played A Way Out and It Takes Two, and we've had our bickering and our disagreements about each other's play style in those games, but no, we always have a blast, and I think these games are really, really nice games. Obviously, to play with other people, you have to play with other people, but I always get excited, like when a new game from this studio comes out. I always tell my wife, and she says, oh, is that from the people that made A Way Out? And I say, yep, and she remembers both those games quite well, so she's ready, she's excited, I'm ready, I'm excited, and we're getting very, very close. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. Make sure, as always, you're subscribed to the channel, bell icon turned on, and I hope to see you all on the next one.